What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, or maybe welcome to the channel for the first time. There's so much going on around HS Design Studio right now. So many pans in the fire. Now that doesn't sound right. So many irons in the fire. Lots of really cool collabs coming down the pipeline. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button already, make sure you do so. You're not going to want to miss these. Today's video is purely for fun, a laugh, if you will, as we look back at some of those kitchen design trends or ideas or things we did in our kitchen that maybe didn't fare so well as time went on. But I also want to talk about a few ideas how we can take concepts from those things that didn't do so well and apply them to today's design world. So let's kick things off with kitchen art. Well, not all kitchen art, but really just a small subset of kitchen art. Remember the giant spoon and fork that were on a lot of walls? Or it was really fashionable for a while to have a picture of a fruit bowl or a picture of some sort of food hanging in your kitchen. Heck, for a while, we even included stenciled sort of tiles in our backsplash with depictions of food or cooking or oils, anything really related to the kitchen. If you have a country diner, that sort of thing fits right in. That's where those belong, not in your home. Food themed artwork is just, it's so literal. It's as if it's not obvious enough that you're sitting in your kitchen or you're standing in your kitchen already. You know, we never had pictures of people sitting and watching TV in living rooms, or at least not that I know of. However, that's not to say you can't have artwork anywhere in your kitchen. If you have a piece that you really like looking at, you don't want to maybe tuck it away in a bedroom or an office, you want it out in the open, somewhere you spend a lot of time, that's fine. It just doesn't need to be food themed or food related. As long as it's done tastefully, you know, maybe over an open shelf or on an open wall, something that balances the overall space, go for it. At number 2, I have the wallpaper border. You know, I love walking into investment properties and seeing this in the kitchen. It's just an instant reminder, an instant indicator that the house is dated and value can be added. You know, I might actually blame builders for this. Because for a long while, builders put those stupid bulkheads or soffits above cabinets as a way to make them look built in and finished to the ceiling, and half the time there was nothing behind those areas. That left designers or homeowners with this weird bulkhead that they needed to make fit or fill in, and they ended up putting a wallpaper border around it. So maybe designers are also partially to blame. I really don't know how long this trend lasted, but thankfully it is still not ongoing. However, wallpaper can be a great way to add some color and texture into your kitchen space. If you have an open wall, preferably away from where you prep food or cook, have at her. There are lots of examples out there of kitchens that look great with wallpaper. It's also something you can change over time to give your kitchen a new lease on life. We often think of wallpaper as this ever-enduring treatment or accent, but it's not. Maybe it's because our grandparents had that wallpaper on their walls our entire childhood, or maybe the entire time they owned that house. But it doesn't need to be that way. Grab a spray bottle and scrape it off. It's going to be a heck of a lot cheaper to change that up than an entire kitchen renovation. At number 3, I have sponge painted walls and ceilings. Now, this isn't even really kitchen related. It was all over the home in many instances. And it was a really big thing in the 90s, where everyone was looking to create texture and depth by changing up their walls from just a flat color. It was often done in creams and beiges and yellows to give that faux stucco look. I do understand the goal. It was creating a sense of texture and dimension in the space. It was especially popular when Tuscan themed kitchens were all the rage. Now it's just a reminder of how much time we dedicated to that paint job. But like everything, it can still be done tastefully with the right color combinations in the right areas. At number 4, I have one of my all-time favorites, and that is the carpeted kitchen. In one of our investment properties a while back, we walked in and it had this almost army green camouflage kitchen carpet. And when we ripped that thing out, it was truly nasty. I want to know the first person that thought this was a great idea. My guess is it had something to do with being more comfortable to stand and work for long periods of time. But still, adding carpet to a space that constantly has water splashes or drink spills and food seems like a recipe for disaster. If you really want some sort of carpet in the kitchen to add warmth to your space, go for it in the form of an area rug. At least if you spill something on it or it gets wet or food gets stuck in it, you can pick it up, whack it out with a broom outside, or throw it in the wash. If you're looking for something to give you extended periods of comfort, look for those anti-fatigue mats. They may not be the best looking, but at least they're super functional. At number 5, we have another type of flooring, and that is the days of crazy linoleum floors. This is another thing I loved seeing in investment properties because it was a sure sign of a dated space. Linoleum floors actually made sense though. They were incredibly durable and easy to clean. Really, what else could you want out of a kitchen floor? I think the real peak was during the 1970s when groovy, eclectic patterns took hold, and the kitchen floor may have actually become the focal point of the space. Now, just don't do it. There's so many better options out there when it comes to flooring. Think luxury vinyl plank. It's extremely durable, it's easy to clean, and you can install it yourself. There's no need for professional installers to glue it down and make sure it's not gonna bubble in areas. And you know what? It looks a whole lot better. Next up on my list, we have above cabinet decor. I think this is another one of those 1990s trends that was born out of a changing of our houses. Ceiling heights started to increase, and the area above the cabinets was no longer just small enough for a piece of trim to finish it out, but it was too large for those giant drywall bulkheads. So what did we do? Well, we stuck stuff up there. It was quite common to see fake or maybe even real plants, pottery, or some sort of vase. I even seem to recall roosters had their heyday as decorative kitchen elements. It had a tendency to draw your eye upward, which isn't a bad thing, and made use of a relatively dead space. But it does fall into that category of trends that didn't age too well. You might be thinking, there's lots of kitchens out there with open shelves above a cabinet, or there's some sort of glass door up there for decorative elements. How is that any different? Well, I will tell you the main difference is that those elements are incorporated with the rest of the kitchen cabinets. They all look as one, and those decorative elements now look like items on display as opposed to a collection of things and knickknacks and plants that we just use to fill up a space. Last but not least on today's list, and this one might be somewhat controversial, I'm not sure, it is mosaic tile backsplashes. It really wasn't that long ago where we saw colorful tile or glass tile mosaics really commonly used as a kitchen backsplash. Mosaic backsplashes really became popular right at the time that Tuscan kitchen styling was falling out of favor. It also happened to coincide with the rise of TV channels like HGTV and shows like Trading Spaces and This Old House and all of those shows that brought design and styling and building to the masses and really made it accessible. So maybe it's us designers, people like myself, that are really to blame for this trend. Whoever, regardless what it is, it really hasn't stood the test of time that well. If you're looking for a more interesting backsplash, but not necessarily something bold and eye-catching, consider going with a handmade tile. Something with some added texture that can still blend into the rest of your kitchen. Well, that about does it for this one. I hope you guys had a little bit of fun, a little bit of a laugh as we look down memory lane, some of those things we used to do in our kitchens. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What are some of those kitchen trends or styles that really didn't age so well? I, for one, I'm happy roosters are no longer a common decorative element of our kitchens. Thanks a ton for watching this time. We'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.